Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Literature in Robes. Today we have something a little different. Hopefully that clap wasn't too loud.
You're fine. Whoa.
Today we have something a little different. It's kind of a sci-fi horror. Interstellar space travel, lots of science-y gadget stuff. We could say alien nightmare scenarios are involved in this series.
Basically space aliens.
So David Wellington wrote what appears to be a series. I'm not sure if it's going to be a trilogy or not. I haven't done much reading up on it, but it is very engaging. It's a little different. It kind of reminds me of Adrian Tchaikovski's that whole series, Children of Time series, and it also has kind of an alien feel to it. Paradise 1 is the first book, Revenant X, which is the second book, and I believe that the books are getting better. At first, I think the Paradise 1 to me felt a little bit slow. It was dragging a little bit, but it was confined mostly to a spaceship that's traveling, and there's some nefarious things going on in that first book. Creepy enough, but it wasn't like scary like say a Stephen King book or something along those lines, but it was still kind of disturbing in its own right. And then so I kind of left reading that first book feeling kind of I don't know, this is maybe Paradise 1 was probably around the 3.5 robes mark, somewhere in there. It was average, but it was interesting. So when I came across Revenant X book 2 recently at the local bookstore, it wasn't hard to pick up from where I'd left off, but some of the characters are very memorable. There's like an android, well, a droid for sure. There's kind of a computerized android weird type thing, and then there's two humans that survive this trip. Once they get to this planet, Paradise, then they are actually starting to explore what has happened to the colony that has been in existence at this planet. Something wrong has happened on the planet. And so we find out a little bit more about the agents behind all this stuff. You know, there's always a space opera component, political and corporate interests all vying for some big bad thing. It gets into that gray area. There's a little bit of that expanse-y feel in these books. I think they're trying to be a little bit more scary.
That is the whole problem with aliens, is you just can't trust them.
David Wellington has put his efforts into telling this story with a pretty gripping cast and crew. Some of their character traits are frustrating, but they all kind of come, as a group does, come to agree on some things because they are all they have, which kind of makes the books feel different too, because it constantly feels like the characters in the books are kind of actors alone in their own personal conflicts as well as the ones between each other in the group.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
It is engaging. The chapter lengths are extremely short, so it always feels like you're kind of getting through the books as you read them. They're just like little chunks, keeps the action flowing, keeps the plot line pacing pretty quickly, and it doesn't really stay on any one character at one time. I think that's one of the interesting parts of David Wellington's writing, is that he'll kind of build a scene one chunk at a time, one person's point of view, and then you see this other person thought about that person's point of view, and then this third observer would think about these other two. He does pretty well of keeping the plot going, but from different angles of all the characters. So that's kind of the interesting part of how that book is written. But Revenant X, I think, was a little bit better than the original opening book, so I'm kind of interested in reading Red Space book 3. Whether it's the end of it or just a continuation of it, I have no idea what his plans are. Maybe I'll look into that some more, and if we do another book, I'll add that into the book review. I would say Revenant X definitely raised the bar from Paradise 1. I would say probably a 3.8 robes out of 5 for this one. Just something about it kind of makes me interested. I don't know what it is. It's that alien quality, that kind of new worlds. The world building is very cool on this new planet, and that's kind of the interesting stuff. Like, what can the author come up with that's alien but still familiar? I think that's part of the challenge of writing some sci-fi horror like David Wellington has. So it was an interesting read, quick read, nothing too challenging, but nothing that wasn't uninteresting at all. So yeah, 3.8 robes out of 5 for David Wellington's Revenant X. So keep it going, David. I think we're going to enjoy this. Hopefully some of y'all would be into picking up some of his stuff. It's not too difficult. If you're a beginning sci-fi reader, I think it would be just right. If you guys have any thoughts about it, leave comments down below, like and subscribe, and remember, keep reading. It's kind of an Alien meets Tchaikovsky's Time. What the hell is the name? Children of Time.